To all the people that are saying, oh, the Patriot Games is just a sporting event. You really believe that? Because we already have the Olympics. We don't need the Patriot Games. And at the same time, why are they minors? That's weird. It just seems like another excuse for creepy men up in the 1% to watch children. It's quite strange to me, and that's another parallel in the Hunger Games book. Everyone that is raped is between the ages of 13 to 18, and like depending on your age, that determines how many times you have to put your name in. Like, from my understanding, like if you're 13, you put in your name once. You're 14, you put it in twice. But what I have been thinking about is how in the Hunger Games, how they get people who are of lower economic status to join into, they have a higher chance of, sorry, I'm shaking because it's fucking cold out here. They have a higher chance of being picked because they can put in their name for more rations of food. And that is quite intentional because, you know, they want to kill off people who they deem are not worthy, aka poor people. But then the volunteer system works in a way that someone of lower economic status, someone could save you, hypothetically, from going into that game. But it's also seen as an opt-out of poverty, too. For you and your family, because once they win, they get to live in the victor's village. So, but then for like the first, second, and third districts, even the fourth, how they get them to join, because they don't need food, they already have food. So they made it into kind of like an honor thing, where it's like an honor to go fight, kind of like it's an honor to go serve your country in war, is what it reminded me of, because these kids train like basically since they can talk at these elite academies, and then the volunteer system works in their favor because at the peak of their performance they volunteer and then they try to win. But in both cases, they're both just children trying to survive in the world, and as you get older you realize the careers were just children too, trying to survive in that world. Doesn't excuse actions, but it is an explanation. But I was thinking about that because I was like, I wonder if there's gonna be like a prize for winning, whether that's food or money, because, you know, people are like starting, you know, they just cut all the benefits, so people aren't able to afford food, just like in the books. But then for the careers, the whole reason why they join is because like it's like this honor, and they feel like it's like a goal in life that they have to fulfill for respect. But it's really sad in the movie, you know, right before Cato dies in the Hunger Games, he says, I was already dead anyway, I think is what it is. And it just shows that like up until that point he subconsciously knew that like he wasn't gonna win, or that that like the odds were never in his favor. Like the capital kind of brainwashes the districts, the like 1, 2, and 3, into believing that they have more power than they actually do, but the capital will always remind them that they're just a district. So in that case, I'm like, okay, so then if a top athlete from a state comes from like a well-off family, which I feel like that might be more common, because in order to excel at a sport, usually you have to have personal training, like joining a club team like outside of school, and all those things cost a lot of money. So it would make more sense to me that someone like that would have a higher chance of ending up competing. But if they don't need the money or the food, like, or whatever prize is there, if they win, then is, like, the appeal to go just gonna be kind of same thing, like an honor thing, or is there gonna be something else in it for them? And then this is the last thing I want to mention. In the books, when someone wins and they are attractive and young like Finnick, they get sold into S trafficking, because that's literally what what Snow was doing with Finnick. That part highly worries, like, that really worries me, because I could see a similar thing happening with a top athlete. Oh, and then I will have this in the caption, but I wish I said this at the beginning. But I do think that the, like, announcement does clearly look like AI. It just looks off, and he's talking faster, I feel like, than he can, and, like, he sounds more coherent than he ever does. But I think that it's a real announcement in the terms that he wants to, and before people are like, well, he can't do that legally, he can't do that, I don't think he cares. He doesn't care that it's not legal. He's going to do it anyway.